Hi, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Blonde. I'm Missy Day.
And Jill Branson.
And cheers. We're just
Yes,
sitting here with
we're
Michelle
still-
Gold drinking champagne. Because why not?
It's such a fun show, I'm telling you.
Especially after seeing all that yummy food.
Yes, that chocolate bacon to die. I'm
Oh,
telling
wow.
you. So, Michelle, we're so glad you're on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
You're welcome. So, Michelle, wow, where do we even start
Yeah.
with Michelle? You have a huge philanthropic heart for people in the community for several different things. Plus, you're involved with volunteers for MSA, volunteers for veterans, right?
Yes, we have veteran-to-veteran volunteers over at MSA who go out and visit our veterans who are in care. And then together we've all engaged the community to bless all the veterans that we serve who are in care facilities throughout. You guys were a part of that. I think we did 1,852 cards to 841 veterans that were in care during
Wow,
Veterans
that's
Day.
so wonderful.
That's so cool.
Yes, it was awesome.
So I want to thank you and tell you something about Michelle. So about 3 years ago, my parents relocated here, and my stepmom had Alzheimer's, and I was like at wit's end, and I was at a networking event. The power of networking again, right?
Networking.
Yes.
Who sits down next to me but Michelle? And I was just about to lose my mind, and she told me she was with MSA, and I just said, please help me. And she did, and we got hooked up with MSA. They took the best care of my stepmom, and I am just so appreciative that you know, through the last year and a half of her life, she had awesome care because of you guys.
Oh, thank you so much. We loved working with your family. Your dad is amazing. And I did get a chance to visit with your mom a couple times and introduce her to a volunteer. And I'm just glad we were able to serve you guys. And yeah, your dad cracks me up. He's like, no, I don't need anything. I'm good. Just, you know, take care of his wife. And then at the very end, he was like, she's just sleepy mostly. So that volunteer's free to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just a tidbit, though, of, you know, everything that you do. So out of all the things that you're involved in, which would you say touches your heart the most?
Well, when I first moved here, I was working with human trafficking victims for one of the different homeless youth programs out here, and that just, it grabbed me. I used to work for Child Protection in California, so I had dealt with that issue on a different front. So I was very involved in that, and I just wanted to find ways to protect our youth better. And so I started working with some agencies about protecting our youth and doing more prevention work. And I continued doing some work with trauma victims. I was a therapist. And then this opportunity to work with seniors opened up. And it has been an amazing transformation for me, because when you work with something that's really heavy and dark, you need something that's light.
Light, yeah.
And people think hospice is dark and depressing, and I'm like, it is the most amazing experience. You get to experience people's lives and hear from them about the fullness of their life and be there to comfort them in the very end. And sometimes it's quite comical because of the things that people say. People want to be able to talk about what's coming. And so I went to go see a patient, introduced her to a volunteer, and I said, so how are you doing today? And she's like, well, honey, not too good, because I'm supposed to be dead. They turned off my pacemaker, and that heart is still beating. And so, you know, you can't help but laugh. And then she's talking about all the wonderful things she did in her life. So
Aw.
it was just a great experience, and it continues to be. Delivering cards to the veterans. This isn't even one of our veterans. He teared up and he said, no one has ever said thank you to him, ever. And he
That's
was,
just so
he just
sad.
held the card like to his heart. And so
Aw.
I get to experience that. And it's a blessing. So I don't know if I could choose a baby project out there that is more a part of my heart. I just love connecting people with growing their own hearts.
That's awesome. So when you're in networking and you do your commercial, right, you talk about your heart of gold.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. How can people develop their own heart of gold?
I do some talks out in the community about growing your heart of gold. It takes gratitude, optimism, love, and dancing into light. And if you can practice those, you will grow your heart of gold. So I do a talk about that. I help individuals. I refer them to business coaches. Thank you guys. I've referred to both of you in the past for intricate business coaching, but along the way I want them to be successful in their business,
Right.
so they can balance that with also the gift of giving of themselves, so they can grow that heart of gold and they can feel that good feeling that comes from just blessing another human being. Jill and both of you have been a part of my group on Facebook, Gratitude to Gold, where you get to express gratitude and read positive comments. So by putting that gratitude and that out there, it grows. And so that's one of the ways that I show people how to grow that heart of gold, by blessing others, whether it's our seniors or our youth. Those two populations are at most risk, and they do have a special place in my heart. So I would say that.
I love that, because the thing that's really awesome about you is that there are some people, that work with seniors and it's their job, but you can tell it's not their thing, right? But you, on the other hand, you can tell that you have a real soft spot, for seniors.
Oh, thank you. I would say that about our entire team. I've witnessed our nurses going the extra mile. They will call me. One of my nurses said, "Hey, do you have any volunteers who like listening to rock music?" He says, because we have this patient, he's not your typical patient who wants to listen to Put On Your Yellow Bonnet and walk in the Easter Parade. He likes, Queensryche. He likes Def Leppard. Do you have anybody? And sure enough, I had a volunteer who used to be a groupie and actually
there
had
you
all that
go.
music and
Awesome.
has stories about being a groupie and loved playing rock music. And he would sit there with this patient and actually play rock music on his phone when he was there, so that patient could have rock music in his life again.
Aw.
So, and the patient would sit there doing nothing, and the music would come on, and he would come to life, and he'd be jamming. So yeah, we have nurses on our staff, our social workers, our chaplains. They spend time and they work as a team trying to really meet our patients' needs, and our volunteer team is amazing. So I can't say enough about the whole team. And then we have volunteers in the community who don't go through the whole process, but they give of their time doing cards and coming to our events. And my movie group, they all sit around doing cards. Almost every movie group, we're doing cards to ensure there's enough cards to go around. This year, for the holidays, for Christmas, we gathered 5,034 cards.
Wow.
We gave cards to, let me look at that number, 3,522 seniors that were in care facilities or were homebound and received meals delivered because they were homebound. And somebody told me the first thing they did was look for their card because they'd gotten cards last year, and they had the
that's so
cards up
sweet.
on their mantle.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are the only cards that people
that
get.
they get.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Oh.
So you're telling me there's a need for like ex-groupies? Is that what I'm hearing?
there's a total need for ex-groupies because
I'm really
guess
good.
what?
I
I was gonna
could
say,
be a
sign me
groupie.
up.
There's like a new patient that's only 4 years older than me, so trust me, the music I listened to back in the 80s, because that would have been her music. If you're going to go sit and jam out and listen to music, you probably need to be somebody that likes that music. But
Yeah.
ex-groupies, definitely. I need people to sit with our patients and with the caregivers, bringing in the outside when they're at home. I don't know if you've ever had cabin fever.
Oh, yes.
I've had it.
My husband has it right now.
I've been a caregiver before. My ex-husband broke his neck, and I had to take care of him.
Oh, wow.
And I was so thankful when somebody came and gave me the opportunity to go to a yoga class,
Yeah.
go get my nails done, something so I could get away from the constant taking care of and wondering if everything was going to be okay, because it's stressful.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
We were actually my dad and I were looking at a picture of him last Christmas compared to this Christmas, and it's like night and day, because I was concerned sometimes, because he was so worried and just sat with Millie all the time that he was going to go first.
Right.
Because he was just so stressed
Stressful.
out.
Yeah.
It happens. We lose a lot of our caregivers, and by engaging in hospice care, individuals can get respite care for 5 days. And I can't tell you how important that respite is. And a lot of caregivers don't take that because they're afraid. They're afraid to leave, and that's
Right.
when the person passes, and then they
Right.
miss
Yep.
that last moment.
Mhm.
But respite care, whether it be for a couple hours or just a few minutes, it's important.
So, for the people that are watching, how can they get a hold of you?
My phone number is 702-773-1272. You can reach me on Facebook. I'm out there. I'm in Missy's group and in Jill's group, so you can find me in those groups as well. mgold@msa-corp.com. That's my email for MSA. The other one is thegoldm@gmail.com, which is kind of my personal one that I kind of navigate because sometimes things get bounced out of a medical email account.
Right.
So that's another way of reaching me. Those are the two best ways. My cell phone goes right to me, so text me too, and I will text you and we'll sit down and have some tea.
Okay.
So, if you have a heart for our seniors, our veterans, please reach out with Michelle Gold, and we'll see you for the next segment. And thank you again for being with us.
Yes,
Thank you guys.
thanks.
Thank you.
It was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.